Everyone believes the longbow won medieval battles by punching straight through armor. Popular history tells you that English archers lost their arrows, steel points screaming through the air, and knights simply fell, plate shattered, mail torn open, bodies pierced at impossible distances. It feels obvious. A longbow as tall as a man, drawn to the ear, launching arrows with terrifying speed. Modern tests show bodkin points biting into steel plates. Movies and documentaries slow the moment down, arrows slam home, armor fails, and heavily armored elites collapse like targets on a range. The story is clean. The longbow equals penetration. Penetration equals victory. But medieval combat didn't work that way. Picture yourself on a medieval battlefield. You are not standing alone on a test range. You are packed into a formation, shoulder to shoulder, your breath fogging inside a helmet. You wear layers, a padded arming doublet, mail, maybe plate over vital areas. The weight presses down constantly. 10, 20, 30 kilograms that never leave your body. Ahead of you, the longbow appears, not as a single weapon, but as hundreds of them. You staves nearly 6 feet tall. Draw weights well over 100 pounds. Arrows fletched for stability, tipped with hardened steel designed for consistency, not magic. This matters because medieval armor is not crude. Mail is flexible but resilient, dispersing force across rings. Plate is curved, angled, and work-hardened, designed to deflect rather than absorb. Even when struck, armor is backed by padding meant to spread impact across flesh and bone. And the battlefield itself is hostile. Mud grips your boots. Noise overwhelms you, shouted orders, the thud of arrows striking shields, the hiss of flights passing overhead. Fatigue builds fast. Every step costs energy. Every moment under fire drains focus. This is not a question of whether an arrow can penetrate armor under perfect conditions. This is a question of what happens when thousands of arrows arrive, again and again, while you are trying to move, breathe, and survive. The archers loose. Not once. Not carefully. They loose in volleys. You hear it before you feel it, a rising hiss, like tearing cloth magnified across the sky. Arrows arc high, not flat. They are not aimed at you as an individual. They are aimed at the space you occupy. An arrow strikes your helmet. Because of the curve, it skids. The impact rings through your skull, sharp and disorienting. Your neck tightens instinctively. Another arrow slams into your shoulder plate, glancing off, but the force drives your arm inward. It hurts. You are not wounded, but you are slowed. Because the arrow does not need to penetrate to matter. Force transfers through steel into padding, then into muscle. Repeated impacts bruise, numb, exhaust. Arrows that miss armor strike shields, embedding deep enough that pulling them free costs precious seconds. Now one arrow finds a gap. Not through solid plate, but at the inside of your elbow, the edge of a visor, the back of a knee as you step forward. These hits are rare, but they are real. And you cannot control when they happen. Here is where the myth collapses. Most arrows do not punch through plate. Most do not burst mail apart. Modern experiments that show penetration rely on stationary targets, ideal angles, and fresh armor without padding or movement. On the battlefield, the longbow works differently. Because of volume. Because of repetition. Because you are under constant threat, even when unharmed. Every volley forces decisions. Do you raise your shield and slow your advance? Then you fall behind formation. Do you keep moving? Then you accept impacts that rattle your vision and sap your strength. Do you break formation and run? Then you become isolated, and isolation is death. Your heart rate climbs. Your arms feel heavy. Your mouth goes dry. The longbow is not killing you quickly. It is making you ineffective. And that is the point. If you find this kind of myth-free medieval history as fascinating as we do, consider subscribing. Arms and Impact exists to explain how weapons and armor really worked, not how movies portray them. What this forced fighters to do was adapt, not by ignoring arrows, but by planning entire campaigns around them. Armor evolves, but not into arrow-proof shells. Instead, it becomes better at deflection. More curves. Better articulation. Thicker padding. Helmets with reinforced brows and visors angled to shed force. Tactics change. Men-at-arms advance behind pavises. Infantry tighten formations to minimize exposed gaps. Commanders time advances between volleys or wait for terrain that limits archer effectiveness. And archers adapt too. The real solution wasn't more force, it was smarter use of fire. Archers target horses. They aim into formations. They exhaust enemies before melee even begins. The longbow becomes a strategic weapon. It controls space. It dictates movement. It punishes hesitation and rewards preparation. Not an armor killer. A battle shaper. So we return to the myth that longbows won because they pierced armor. It survives because it is simple. Because it fits modern testing and cinematic storytelling. Because penetration is easy to measure and pressure is not. But the real historical truth is sharper. Longbows changed warfare by overwhelming systems, not individuals. They broke cohesion, drained stamina, forced errors, and shaped the fight long before blades met. Understanding this matters because it reveals how medieval warfare actually functioned. Not as duels of technology, but as contests of endurance, coordination, and mechanical reality. This is the mission of Arms and Impact. To replace legend with evidence. To show you how weapons, armor, and human bodies truly interacted under war conditions. If this changed how you see medieval weapons, hit like. Subscribe for more evidence-based history of arms, armor, and impact. Comment below, what weapon or myth should we break next?